Hello YouTube and welcome back. This is Nico and you're watching Dare to Game. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance and we're coming at you with a super special armor guide. This one is actually the top 6 suits of armor in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Now, before we get into any of that, I've got to make some stuff perfectly clear so everyone understands this list. These are not my personal favorites. This is not a multi-factor list. This is based solely on the AAR rating, or average armor rating, which is a composite score of all the areas: head, body, arms, and legs. To be on this list, to be considered a suit of armor on this list, you need to have at least 4 pieces that match, so they have to have the same name. So whether that's Nuremberg, Magdeburg, Augsburg, whatever, they need to have 4 pieces like that. And then if I need to supplement a piece because there's not enough, usually the helmet, I'll just use whatever the best ranking one is. So, with all that in mind, you may not see some of your favorite suits of armor on this, or you may not see some of your favorite pieces, or even some of the highest stat pieces, because they don't fit into the suits of armor. But with that in mind, you also will see some pieces reused because, if they don't fit specifically into a suit of armor, I won't reuse one that's like the Nuremburg gauntlets or something. I won't reuse those, but if it's the arching bassinet, which you will see multiple times on this list, I'll reuse that because it's not specifically for one suit of armor. So, with all that in mind, every one of these suits is going to be measured with the same base layer. So the same clothing and the same chainmail because, I figured that was the best way to get it flat across the board, even though some of these suits technically have their own, shirt or pants or chainmail that goes with them, that could go with them. It would, this keeps the results far more accurate and keeps all these suits more comparable with each other. So let me show you the base layer before we get into any of the armor. Okay, so for the base layer, this will be the same for every single suit on here. We have the dark padded coif, the decorated arming doublet, decorated black hose, golden spurs, mail chausses, necklace, noble's mail coif, short noble hauberk, and signet ring. So that is the base layer for all of these. I won't be including specialized weapons. You can see I have a weapon on me just because I always like to keep a weapon on me in this game. But the weapons don't come into this. I'm not going to be talking price, charisma, none of that. You'll be able to see the specialized stats down in the corner. I'm just going to talk about the average armor rating. So with all that in mind, let's get to number 6. So at number 6, we have the Warhorse Armor, which comes in with an average armor rating of 99.5. So that is out of all the suits that have a total suit of matching parts, this one is the 6th. So like I said, 99.5 for the AAR. The components of this one, other than the base layer, are the Warhorse helmet, the Warhorse brigandine, the Warhorse greaves, the Warhorse pauldrons, and the Warhorse gauntlets. So that is what makes up the Warhorse armor. As you can see, just a minor little note here, if you really wanted to, you could and I would suggest swapping out this decorated arming doublet for the red one, because it would just match better. But other than that, this one it's a nice suit of armor. You can get it early in the game, really cheap. You find it at all the treasure hunts, blah, blah, blah. It's really easy to repair. So yeah, that's number 6. Let's move on to number 5. So for number 5, we have the Nuremberg Armor, or the Nurembergian Armor, however you want to look at it. Now this suit has a total AAR of 106.75. The pieces that make up this suit are the Nurembergian cuirass, the arching bassinet, the Nuremberg plate chausses, the Nuremberg plate pauldrons, and the Nuremberg gauntlets. So this one is pretty plain Jane, no extra trimming, but it's a very nice suit of armor. Again, like I said, AAR of 106.75, so pretty dang good. But that does it for number 5. So let's move on to number 4. So for number 4, we have the Milanese armor. Now again, like I said, this one, like the last one, will have the arching bassinet as a helmet because there is no Milanese helmet. But this one has a total AAR of 107, so just slightly better than the Nuremberg armor. But this one is made up of the arching bassinet, the Milanese cuirass, the Milanese plate pauldrons, Milanese plate chausses, and the Milanese gauntlets. So, like the last one, this one's plain Jane, but in my opinion, I think the Nuremberg armor looks better, namely the cuirass. Now with this one, if you really, really wanted to, you could swap it out for one of the Milanese brigandines, which would give you higher stats, but since it's not plate armor, I didn't include it, or it's not technically, plate armor, I didn't include it in this list. So yeah, number 4 is the Milanese armor. Let's move on to number 3. So at number 3, we actually have the only suit of armor on this list to actually have all 5 pieces coming from the same name, this one being the Lords of Lipa armor. This suit of armor, I should tell you, can be obtained from the tournament mode. So you get these all as prizes for winning tournaments. This one has an AAR of 109.75. The pieces that make up this armor are the Lords of Lipa cuirass, the Lords of Lipa houndskull, the Lords of Lipa pauldrons, the Lords of Lipa chausses, and the Lords of Lipa gauntlets. So this suit of armor, like I said, is the only one on this list that all 5 pieces are the same name, so there's no substitutions here. And, you know, this is a great looking suit of armor for one thing, and it also doubles. An advantage of this helmet is that even with the visor down, you can see fully just like a regular open face helmet, so it gives you the extra protection of having a visor down, but the extra visibility of not having one down. So this is a real good suit of armor for that. But that's number 3, so let's move on to number 2. So for number 2, we have the Magdeburg Armor, which has an AAR of 112.75, putting it, you know, obviously really close to the top, coming in at number 2. This suit of armor can be made up of these pieces: the Magdeburg plate pauldrons, the arching bassinet, because again there's no Magdeburg helmet, the Magdeburg cuirass, Magdeburg plate chausses, and the Magdeburg gauntlets. So this one has a bit of gold trimming on it, none on the arms or anything, but the chest here, you can see that's, you know, pretty fancy looking. But yeah, again, AAR of 112.75 is pretty dang high, but not as high as number 1, so let's move on to number 1. So for number 1, we of course have the brand new suit of armor from the Band of Bastards DLC, the House of Zul armor, or the armor of Lord Zul, however you want to look at it. This one has a really high AAR of 118.25, so almost a whole 6 points better than the Magdeburg armor, which is the previous, you know, holder of this title. So this suit of armor has these following parts: the House of Zul cuirass, the House of Zul helmet, the Zul arm plate, the Zul leg plate, and the Nobleman's gauntlets. In addition to being the best suit of armor stat-wise, it's also got the best charisma out of any full suit of plate armor, and in many people's opinion, looks the best. It's got gold fancy trim for the knees and the elbows, a new unique helmet which has it's a hound skull. You can tell it's got a hound skull look, but it's shaped slightly differently with a higher point, farther upper facing nose piece, I guess, I don't know what you call that, and extra gold trim around that. Plus it has the beautiful wafen rock sewed sort of right into the chest piece. So yeah, that's number 1, is the Zul armor. So yeah, that actually concludes this list. That's the top 6 full suits of armor in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Hope you enjoyed it. Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. If you did, I can assume you liked the content, and hopefully you'll subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you haven't already, check out these links I have on the screen to see me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you like my content and would like to support what I do here, there's a link to my Patreon account in the description, and a donation would be much appreciated. In any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day.